Athletes, do you think you're working hard? What if I told you that most athletes are really only scratching the surface of their real potential? What if I told you that the difference between good and elite players isn't about putting in the hours, but training at the edge of their abilities? So today, we're going to break down how to push into that uncomfortable high intensity zone without burning out. So let's get to it. So there's going to be 5 categories that I'll be talking about. And the first one here is truly understand what training to failure means. So you can go into the weight room and you can load up some weight on your back, or you can be doing some dumbbell presses. And I really want you to find a weight that you might feel a little bit uncomfortable with, and you're trying to really push to failure on every rep. Probably by the end of it, you're going to be feeling super exhausted, fatigued, and your arms are gonna be feeling like jelly, and you're not able to really press out that last rep with a clean form, and you're really using all of that muscles in the body to push yourself up. So there's really no energy left, it's basically no clean reps, and it's basically pure effort. So this can be also done on the court workout as well. So maybe you're kind of shooting and you're basically wanting to try to test yourself to kind of go to failure, right? Shooting maybe 100, 200, 300 catch and shoot shots with another friend, and your arms will probably be feeling like jelly. You won't be having a clean form, and at that point, you're just basically throwing the ball up towards the rim and hoping that it goes in. And that's basically going to failure. And once you understand what true failure means, then I want you to scale the intensity back by maybe around 20% to almost 80% of your true ability. And I just want you to work in that high intensity zone for either on or off the court. This is the zone that I really want you to stay in, so that in the long run, you're not going to be plateauing and just trying to push for PRs or going for the work hard mindset like David Goggins and burning yourself out in the short run. So instead, I really want you to find that sweet zone, training enough without overtraining, and finding that minimum effective dose, whether that is on or off the court, to be getting the best results in the long run. Of course, training to failure at times is going to be super useful, and that's going to really help you with developing that mindset and mentality to fight through things. But I want you to treat it as training to failure as a tool. So it's not really a requirement or a necessity to get better. And I really want you to use it strategically, because there's only that much many times within your season or within the year that you can do so without affecting your game on the court or your performance on the court. The second category here is eliminating distractions. So being able to hone in the present and focusing on your sets or your workout with a trainer or by yourself is actually a skill that needs to be developed. So I'm sure that you've seen athletes in the weight room or even on the court, just maybe after they finish a few shots or after a set, they're going to be just strictly back onto their phone and just kind of scrolling through. And that's actually going to immediately kill your intent for the whole workout session. And one scroll, one notification is all it needs. And that's going to be the difference between someone who's just showing up for the work and someone truly working and maximizing the productivity within their session. And I feel like this is an issue with most younger athletes or younger generations, because now everyone basically has an iPhone or a smartphone with them. But when it was basically my generation or 20 years ago, I didn't have like a touchscreen phone. At most, I only have like the ones that you can press numbers into or like a keypad into. So there wasn't really that dopamine addiction of scrolling on your phone constantly and waiting for notifications, whether it's from your friends or from your family members, to kind of engage in chats. And also posting on social media like Instagram, Snapchat, or Facebook. They're basically getting a flood ton of likes, and that's basically getting them into this self-gratification loop with it. And so they're not being able to truly focus in on their working sets or reps, and that will really kill the intent of the whole workout. So a very simple hack that I use is I use a product called Brick. I have no sponsorship with them, no affiliations with them, but it's something that I saw or I came across on Instagram, and I thought this was a pretty good idea. I bought it, and recently I've been scrolling much less on my phone, and because we all know that the function on iPhone, right, when you basically have a screen time like management, right, and you basically click into the app and it says remind me in 15 minutes or unlimited time, right, we're all going to bypass that, and is not actually going to be super useful. So I use the physical product here, and I can't unlock it until basically I tap my phone with it in order to get access to those apps. So whether I am working out or when I'm doing sessions, one-to-one sessions, for physio or for personal training, I use this a lot so that I can really hone it on the moment with my client or myself and not be distracted during it. And if you, of course, don't have this, it's not a problem at all. You can use the do not disturb function in your iPhone. And after you click it on, you can just dump it in your bag or somewhere that you can't physically reach your phone for. And I feel like this is a very good idea as well if you do not have this kind of product to help you with improving your productivity during the session. And for the third category here, we've heard of this term before. The road to mastery is consistency. And we've probably heard coaches throw this word around all the time, teammates, parents, about you gotta stay consistent. But what does this actually mean? Because we all know that consistency is not just about showing up, but about bringing true intent into every session daily. This is the most important thing, and I see that most athletes are not able to really get that intent out into every session and even the focus within it, and that's basically going to make or break an athlete in the long run. So if there are 365 days and maybe I'm working out for 320 days, and if I'm bringing intent into 310 of the sessions, that's going to be pretty good, and relatively to the one that maybe only focuses for half the session, like 150 sessions, right? I'm basically getting double the amount of reps that I'm going to be getting. My brain is going to really try to hone in on the mechanics or like the shooting form or the skill moves that I'm going to be replicating, and I'll be easily or more easily transfer that skill onto court. And even for workouts, right? Maybe we're doing like a back squat or like a dumbbell press. If we're able to truly focus on each set, right, we're able to bring more intent out of it, and thus we're able to kind of push the weights a little bit more. We all know that staying consistent is not easy. It's not just something that we bring out of thin air and we say we want to stay consistent and then we're going to execute it, right? Habits take time, and usually habits take around 3-month period of you microdosing it into daily routine or weekly routine in order to stick with you. We all know that a lot of people, especially as the new year comes by, we all have these new goals and things like, you know, trying to lose weight, trying to get more athletic, trying to maybe get more money or earn more money. But maybe 1 or 2 months into the challenge, right, most people fall off. Why is that? Because they're not consistent with it. They're not able to show up for a certain period of time before that habit sticks in and becomes a part of you. And this is going to separate you and the next athlete, because everyone is working hard at this point. Everyone's going to be putting in the hours. But are you able to kind of bring out the max intent out of each session to be consistent with it through a long period of time to become the best athlete that you can be? And the ones who win are the ones who bring consistent effort and intensity into each session. So a really quick pro tip here is you can track all of your sessions, right? Whether it's on or off the court or on or off the field, right? And you can basically get a scale. It's called RPE, rate of perceived exertion. And out of 10, you want to rate your every session, right, on the scale. So maybe 10 of 10 is super tiring, right? I'm super fatigued. I'm about to puke, right? I'm about to vomit. That's probably 10 out of 10 intensity. And maybe for 0 out of 10 is like, it's super easy. I'm not even breathing hard. It's basically very, very light work, and you really want to try to aim for most sessions between a 6 to 8 out of 10. Why do I say 6 to 8 out of 10 is because there will be days that will be lower intensity. You're not going to be pushing 8 or 9 out of 10 every day because that will be leading to burnout. So there are days where you want to stay in that 6 out of 10 zone in order for your body to kind of recover. And when you want to really push it, then you can go for 8 out of 10 intensity in order to bring the best out of you. For the fourth category here is learning to be uncomfortable. Growth happens when you're uncomfortable. If you're never struggling in training, you're not really pushing yourself hard enough and challenging yourself. It's not always about being physically challenging for you. It can also be mentally challenging. Maybe you're learning a new skill, right? And that's going to take a little bit of coordination and timing in order to get that down. Maybe you're learning a new play or new set, and you're really challenging your brain to understand what are the possible options. Maybe it's a backdoor cut out of the screen. Maybe there's a slip there. There's going to be the skip pass on the other side. So I want you to really challenge yourself and visualize all of these stuff happening. And initially, you might be uncomfortable with going through those sets in the head because you're only thinking about your one position, right? Especially in the play setting. But if you're able to challenge yourself and be able to figure out and visualize each and every player on the team, what they're doing on the court, then you really challenge yourself mentally. But of course, if we're talking about physically, we can play against stronger competition. We're going to be outplayed. We're going to be outscored. We're going to be bullied. We're going to be exposed, right? These are things that are going to make you super uncomfortable, especially when you're young. So really get exposed to that early on, so then you can get adapted to it quicker when you're older. So let's say you're currently under 12 or under 14, try to play with people who are older than you, who are more experienced than you, who are bigger than you, stronger than you, right? Try to play in a different age group. Maybe you're currently 13 and you try to go for U16 age group, right? If you're maybe an adult already, try to play against someone who's better than you, quicker than you, to really expose yourself and work on your ability to improve yourself. If you're playing on one-on-one against professional players, you might be losing 11-0. That's good. Don't make excuses for it. Instead, try to reflect in the moment immediately with 2 questions. Firstly is, what did I do wrong? Second, what adjustment can I make immediately and reflect upon it? Most times when people get scored on, they just think of, oh, I got scored on, let me go straight to offense, right? But in the moment, when you're bringing the ball up or when the play is getting set, you should be thinking about, what did I do wrong, right? Maybe I didn't beat him to the spot and he was able to get an advantage over me to stay on his lane and get for the layup, right? And maybe what can I do better? Maybe next time is trying to push him into the help defense, right? So that I can get some help, especially when I know that the offensive player is a little bit faster than me. And then once I get the help, I can rotate back onto the main player, or I switch with the defender or the help defender in order for the other team to not get an advantage. And lastly here, adapting the Kaizen method, which is becoming 0.01% better every day. And that 0.01%, if you go across the whole year, it's going to compound and get you better overall. And most effort, it doesn't go with overnight success. What we always see as overnight success is almost years of hard work accumulated together, and on one lucky night, it just basically exploded, right? We just need to stack small wins. You might have increased your back squat by 0.5 kg. That's a win. You might have done with this weight 1 or 2 more reps. That's a win. You might be able to finally get 8 out of 10 on this spot. That's a win as well. Just small inches of progress towards the goal, and that's all it needs on a daily commitment. And a very, very good way to do so is to really track your growth. So for me, I actually use a note card and I basically write down the things that I need to do the day before and basically make a checklist, right? But on the side, I also write down what I need to do better or what I did better today and some of my own wins. So then I can really accumulate these wins slowly over time and keep track of it and just being consistent and accountable to myself. Momentum is everything. So we kind of talked about the previous point about how habits take 3 months to accumulate and slowly turn it into your own, right? Having this ripple effect over towards other areas of your life is also super important. So this not only, of course, stays within the sport realm, right? Or within the gym or within on the court, right? It also translates well to your personal life. Maybe it's you're studying for an exam, right? And you're maybe struggling with it and basically you're going to chip away slowly a little bit of the work at a time for the final year project in order to make it work, right? Because we all know that improvements compound over time, and the important thing is just trying to get 0.01% better daily. I know that might not have been the best example, but I know that most athletes think that they're training hard. But the real ones, the elite ones, they're not only training hard, they're training with max intent, they're removing distractions, and they're able to stay consistent and hone in on the present. So if you're actually serious about leveling up and becoming a better athlete, whether it's on and off the court, I do have a free Gains Chamber community in the group description below in order to help you become more mobile, more athletic, strong, to help you thrive to become the best potential that you can be. If you're really serious about it, click the link below and I'll see you on the inside.